get into the nitty-gritties of how we can arm ourselves against all these distractions.
I can help you easily with that one answer. You cannot help anyone when you're broke. Again, the acronym FEAR, F-E-A-R, is false expectations appearing real. Fear is not real. Fear is not real. From a medical point of view, we're all born with two fears. I know my medical doctor's salary is not going to help me achieve that. The only way I can achieve that is from doing business. So I need to learn more about real estate, the financial markets, how to handle finances, how to set up businesses. So that's where
we're calling this episode Wealth Psychology, and the reason for that is I realized that most of it begins with the mind. Now, I'm not the expert on this, as I spend more time with my financial advisor. I've decided to film these episodes, and with the hope that you can learn something along with me. So I'm going to ask him to introduce himself, and we'll jump right in.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting me over here. Yes, my name is Dr. Aderemi Banjoko. As people will say, from my doctor is a medical doctor. People sometimes think I have a PhD in finance, but no, it's from being an obstetrician and gynecologist in my former life. So I used to be a medical doctor, hence the Dr. Aderemi Banjoko, but no longer practicing, full-time entrepreneur and trader and investor in the financial markets.
Because that's where the money is, right?
Yes, that's where the money is.
The whole point of doing this is because, like I said in my introduction, I've spent so much time working. I don't want to be working like this, at least in the next 10 years. And so I have a lot of questions. But before I even get into it, the reason I came to you is because of your background. I love the fact that you have made money and you're living well now, but you've also made money before and lost all of it. You've experienced what it means not to have money. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I think I'll try and summarize it because it's a very, very long story. But yes, I think I like every other person, or let me be more specific, like every other African. We're taught to go to school, go to university, get a degree, work hard, get a job, and
A white collar job.
yes, and then retire when you're 70 and die. So I think that's what I too went through without getting financial education. So obviously I knew there was something not right about that system, and I wanted to enjoy my life, have money, not do any work, and just enjoy my life. So I knew the best way to go was being an entrepreneur and doing business. So from the time I started working as a gynecologist.
No. At what point did you know that? Because for a lot of people getting to that point of like, okay, I know someday I want to be an entrepreneur, something sort of happens.
No, I think that it's an innate thing sometimes. I think not everyone can be an entrepreneur, unfortunately, and we'll come to that, which is where the wealth psychology comes in. But I think it's been in me even during university. So during university, I used to do small deals, do small businesses. So for the life of me, I don't know why I did medicine, because I think I had more of an entrepreneurial spirit even from university. I was more drawn to doing businesses and money-making schemes than my medical career itself.
Your father was a medical doctor, though.
Yes.
Would there have been an inspiring sort of like?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really. It just sounded like a good
idea at the time.
No, I think you just say, okay, you can always get a job as a doctor. So it just seemed like a good idea. That's it. Okay. There was nothing more or nothing less to that. In fact, that is why everyone should be careful what you get yourself into, because sometimes you have to question why you're doing what you're doing. So I did medicine because I just thought, yeah, you get a job as a doctor, you always make money as a doctor. So it wasn't because of the profession itself. It was just the salary that you get and the stability. Yes. So that was it. But even then, you quickly discover, once I started working as a doctor, I quickly discovered that you're still going to end up poor working as a doctor. That wasn't the way to go. So from my first job as a doctor, I started buying properties and started going heavily into business, knowing that I had to quit medicine as soon as I could. But like I said, due to my lack of knowledge about money and how money works, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I didn't handle money well, so yes, I then lost everything. So from having a multi-million pound property portfolio and living a good life and having all the money you can, everything went due to poor money management. Yeah. And I learned the hard way about money, which I think that's actually what made me become passionate about teaching people about money, because I wish someone had taught me about money before I got myself into all this trouble. And I had to learn the hard way.
And then you had to build back up.
Yes. Because I then discovered that anyone can make money. And it's actually, weirdly enough, it's very easy to make money. Yeah, it is. It's just the mindset. People, once you can get over the mindset issue, which is the biggest problem.
Yes.
I always say there are three guaranteed ways you can become wealthy. Three guaranteed ways you can become wealthy. Number one, you can be born into it.
Okay.
So that's a guaranteed way to become wealthy.
Yeah.
Born
into wealth.
Yeah. So if you're born into the royal family, or you're Bill Gates' kid, or Warren Buffett's kid.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's one guaranteed way to be rich. The second guaranteed way to be rich or to be wealthy is to do something, have a product or a service or something that nobody has ever done before and that everybody wants.
Have something no one has done, but they all want.
No, for example, Facebook, all these innovations, that iPhone, Microsoft. So if you come up with something that nobody has ever done before, an idea or a product or a service that nobody has ever done before, but everybody wants.
Yeah.
Then that's another guaranteed way to be wealthy.
Yeah.
Of course, you need to be smart. You need to be very intelligent to do that. You need to be very creative, which I am not. So I'm not creative. I'm a bit lazy. I can't be bothered. So I go for the third one. The third guaranteed way to create wealth is do what people have been doing for centuries to create wealth. Just copy and paste.
Do copy and paste.
People have been creating wealth forever from real estate. People have been creating wealth forever from the financial markets. People have been creating wealth forever from agriculture and farming. And also, so there's a template that is there that has been there for centuries that, is just don't reinvent the wheel.
Well, it looks like I haven't found that template, and I know there could be a lot of people who haven't found that template, and they are in that space in their lives where they're ready to learn. They're ready to turn that wheel. They're ready to figure out what it is that they're doing wrong, put in the work, and hopefully get to that destination. Okay, so now we can dig in. We know a little bit about you. We've started with, some of already the nuggets that you're throwing, but I want to go back a little bit and start actually asking the questions that I've been pondering on, even going into this phase. Deciding and choosing to walk this journey with you is not something that I take very lightly, so I want to make sure that I soak in as much wisdom as I can in the little time you're dedicating as possible. The number one question is, what is the difference between those who succeed and those who fail, from what you have gathered over the years?
The characteristics of successful people is the same. So you find that people who succeed in life have the same characteristics and values, and people who don't have it. So it's as simple as that. And it can be summarized in three major characteristics. So number one is having a strong foundation. You need to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are as a person, if you don't believe in yourself, unfortunately, we live in a world where, let's be real, the people who will obviously give you negative feedback and push you down tend to be close families and friends. So families and friends are the ones that will keep telling you no, 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 no. So if you're a sort of person that you're looking for affirmation, you're looking for people to encourage you, to support you, you will struggle, because usually successful people, the idea you have is your idea, is your goal, is your dream. And if you're expecting others to buy in before you do it, you will never do anything. So you have to have a very strong foundation of who you are. So number two, obviously,
before we go to number two, how do I build that if I don't already have it? Are there some tools I could use to work on that?
Well, I won't call them tools. Number one, let me start with myself. I think my Christian belief helps. Okay. So because of my Christian belief, I know, I serve a God that, like I say, I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. So I strongly believe that. I strongly also believe that God has put everyone on this earth to be great. Yes. There's innate greatness in all of us. Yes. And I strongly believe that. And
so it's rooting yourself in your beliefs, your values,
exactly.
wherever you source that from.
Exactly.
Be it Christianity,
exactly.
be it what your parents passed on.
Yeah, whether it's Islam, Buddhist, whatever.
But you can, maybe the reason I'm actually asking this is because you can also create them if you don't have them.
You can
and figure that out.
I think that's the other thing that comes in is obviously this is where therapy too comes in. Because therapy is very useful if you're lost, if you don't know who you are, you've been had traumatic past. Then yes, therapy can also help if you don't have that innate belief. That's why I said I'm using myself as an example. My own strong foundation comes from my Christian beliefs. Yes. So that's an easy one. And like you said, it depends. You can get that from any religion. But if you're an atheist or you don't believe in all that, yes, sometimes some people are just born confident and they just know who they are.
Yes.
But yes, if you don't, there's also the option of therapy, counseling, trying to talk to someone that can help you discover who you are, who the core person is, and not begin to rely on others in terms of your goals and dreams. So that's why a strong foundation is very important. Yeah. Then number two is you have to have an action plan. Because
have an action plan.
Yeah, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. So for example, now, like I said, the template to create wealth is the same for years. So let's, for example, now we're in Rwanda. Let's use this as an example. I know that most people own land. They either have a family that owns land. And usually the quickest way to creating wealth is land and how you use land. So, and of course, we'll come to that later. There's a charity I work with. So I know that even the people who we help out of poverty, they own land. The question is just how to cultivate the land and grow something on the land and sell. So your action plan could be, okay, I want to, again, this is just an example. I want to get into farming. You need an action plan. Where can I get land? Where can I get the seeds? Where can I get the labor to cultivate it? You can also start small. So you can see this is what I'm talking about, copy and paste. This is not rocket science.
It is not.
And as we all know, there's food security issues. There's food security issues both in the country and globally. So there's a huge demand for agricultural products. So it's not rocket science. That's why I say I go for the copy and paste, what people have been doing.
You're actually doing that at the moment.
So I don't have to rack my brain. But I'm just saying as an individual, if you begin to think about it, that action plan is just, okay, what are the things I can do? What do I have around me? What are the resources I have around me? Yes. And again, don't start thinking you have to do things very big. But you have to have a plan. The plan could also be you studying. I need to learn about real estate. Or maybe you want to go into fashion design. I need to learn about fashion design. You want to go into the restaurant business. You need to learn about it. So, but you have to have an action plan. So you know what's going to guide you on a daily basis. And then finally, you have to have the determination to achieve.
Okay.
And that's where most people fall apart. Most people fall apart. They don't have that determination to achieve. Because, like we said, having a strong belief in yourself and working on yourself, that's achievable. Yeah. Having an action plan, it's easy to have an action plan. but are you determined to
See
achieve?
it through.
And that's the key. And when we say determined to achieve, because I can guarantee you, you're going to have bumps along the way.
Absolutely.
You're going to have mistakes. Things are not going to go well. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot. So do you have that determination to say, okay, no matter what, I'm going to make it work? And I think this is where, you should do a lot of reading, because if you read the autobiographies of every successful person you can think of, from Bill Gates to Warren Buffett to everybody, they've all failed along the way, big time. To Mark Zuckerberg, to Amazon, what's his name? Jeff Bezos. They've all failed along the way. They've all, Richard Branson, the list goes on. They've had mistakes, learned from the mistakes, but what made them succeed was that determination to achieve.
Yes.
Same like myself, going back to myself, like you said earlier, I went through bankruptcy, I lost everything I had, I went back to zero, but I did not quit.
Yes.
I still had that determination that no matter what, I have to make this thing work. So I think that's where people who succeed and people who don't succeed, that's the big difference, because
this is having a strong belief in yourself, meaning build a strong foundation. You have to have an action plan, because talk is cheap. Put it down on a tablet, even the Bible says it. And also you have to have the determination to kind of see things through and not be afraid to fail. That's actually quite interesting, because
actually, I'll give you a very good analogy just to wrap that up in a nice bow.